Howdy howdy everyone, Jolly Green here, your #1 guide to enjoying your thru hike. Today is going to be part 1 of my 3-part mini-series telling you the only 3 motivators that are guaranteed to energize your thru hike. You see, I got done reading a book, Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal. Boop! An incredible book that talks about not only how to be motivated through hard things, but how to enjoy the process and make everything that you're doing more energizing and more playful. So, in this video is going to be part 1 of the 3 P's of a successful thru hike. Play! You see, play is something that's very fundamentally important to me, and it should be to you, because without play, what are you even doing on a thru hike? What's the point? If you're not enjoying the process, I can guarantee that you're going to hate every step. And you've got a lot of steps to take. So come join me as I practice what I preach, as I'm going to be playing out in the woods while I present the scientific backing as to why play is so important for you to complete your thru hike. Let's get into it. Now, the concept of play is something that can be really strange to think about. I mean, obviously we're going off into the woods, but what happens whenever we stop enjoying the hike that we're on and instead start feeling like everything's a chore instead of something that we get to do? I probably should have picked a less treacherous place to be walking in to do my video, but I'm out here to have fun too, and have fun recording. Oh, there's a deer over there. So the way that I see it, after reading over 100 books on neuroscience, psychology, and just enjoying the process of habit development, I found that play can be broken down into 3 basic categories. There is curiosity, enjoying the process, and feeling safe. And once you've mastered all 3 of these, you can make almost any process fun. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first one. Curiosity. Now, curiosity is a very powerful human motivator. It has literally helped keep us alive for our entire evolutionary process. But it's also been shown that whenever the brain is presented with a question that makes it curious, like, what does the term dinosaur actually mean? Then the brain activates dopamine much more readily and helps remember the process that led to the correct answer. And so it helps you not only enjoy the process, but also helps with your memory of the process. And for those that were curious, dinosaur means a terrible lizard. To help support Ali Abdaal's claims in this, I also read the book Curiosity by Ian Leslie. And in that book, he broke down a key distinction between what is called a mystery and a puzzle. So if we can treat our long distance thru hike like a mystery, something that doesn't have a clear definitive answer and will take different iterations to figure out what it is that actually makes it enjoyable, rather than a puzzle, which is described as having one solution, then we can realize that everyone's going to be hiking their own hike and enjoying the process in very different ways. And you come to learn that whenever you're finishing your hike, that everyone is enjoying it in very different and unique ways. And by being curious about what other people are doing, you also can enjoy the process. So, the direct quote that I have here says that puzzles have one solutions, while mysteries have many interconnecting and sometimes contradictory pieces of advice. Like, for me, one of my really bad pieces of advice that I can't really recommend to other thru hikers, but ended up working wonders for me, is I replaced my sleeping bag halfway through in the middle of summer. It was the hottest point of my entire trek, and rather than carrying around my sleeping bag, I sent it home and I bought a bed sheet from a Walmart, and I brought a space blanket with me, one of those emergency ones that sound like you're sleeping with tinfoil. However, during the hottest months of the year, that was more than enough for me, even on mountaintops when I should have been cold. But that's also because I'm a very warm person and I like being cold. I don't know if you see him, but there's a little Sasquatch helping me out here. And so by leaving yourself open to different things that could improve your hike and making it your own, you could open yourself up to so many possibilities to making your thru hike fun in ways that you could have never imagined, as long as you're open to not following specific rules and willing to listen to what it is that you want. I know one of my personal favorite examples of a time that I embraced curiosity was I was enjoying some good heavy mile days right near the beginning in Virginia, and I saw a festival that was about 20 miles off trail in Troutville. You see, I had planned on going right past because I was going to miss a day of hiking, and it wasn't until my buddy Jukebox just talked me into it and gave me the fantastic piece of advice of say yes to side quests. And so, wanting to take it to heart, I decided to embrace this, and so I went to the Troutville hiking festival and ended up having a blast. There was all kinds of free food. They let us stay in the park. There were showers and laundry available. And truly, it was such a welcoming community that really wanted to see hikers have fun. And if I hadn't been open to the possibility of just trying things out, I probably would have missed it. And that would have been an incredible regret that I wouldn't have even known about. Now, if you're curious about how it is that you can involve more curiosity into your thru hike, check out my other video, the only 4 questions to hike your own hike, right up here, or maybe over here, wherever it is that I decide to put the end card. We'll see. I'm dyslexic. Now, on to the next section of enjoying the process. You see, if you're not enjoying the small wins along with the large wins, then you're probably going to get overwhelmed with the concept of just hiking 2,200 miles. And so the Appalachian Trail for me was a real crash course in trying to break down things into manageable goals. And one of the things that really helped me on my thru hike was finding small micro goals. Now, I had a collection of goals that were very personal to me. You see, at mile marker 500, I walked 500 miles. And at mile marker 1,000, I walked 500 miles again, so that I could tell the proclaimers that I was better than them. I would sing it, but I don't think I'm allowed to with copyright reasons. And also, I'm not a great singer. Another incredibly helpful goal that was very useful for me on my thru hike, that almost everyone got a huge motivation boost from, was my grandmother was keeping track of where I was on one of those long Appalachian Trail maps. She had it on the wall, and she was marking off everywhere that I had stayed whenever I checked in with her. And she was getting very into the process and just having fun seeing where I was. But there was one point in the trail where we had a problem. You see, after mile marker 1,200, I had actually hiked far enough up this map that Mama couldn't reach it anymore, and my family had to move the map down on the wall that it was sitting on so that Mama could continue tracking my progress. And that is when I learned that I hiked 1 Mama tall. And that, despite being such a silly motivator, was incredibly helpful for me, and that kept me going for probably the rest of my trail, knowing that I at least hiked 1 Mama. And another goal that I set for myself was at mile marker 1,779, I was able to finally tell Frodo and Sam that I had hiked more miles than them. I would have gotten from the Shire to Mordor and still had more to go. And with that, knowing that I could walk more than the hobbits was a goal that got me all the way to the rest of Katahdin. So this might sound ridiculous, because it is, but that's kind of the point. And according to James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, let me get the exact quote, "We often fixate on the big, distant goal like Katahdin. We often fixate on big and distant goals, the finish line. Whereas James Clear shows us that small, consistent wins, in turn, give us small hits of dopamine that can be incredibly motivating for the next task. So rather than focusing on what is it going to take to get to Katahdin, it's much easier to find these small wins for yourself. And these were just personal ones for me. But I'm sure that while you're hiking, you can find your own goals. And honestly, the sillier the better. Go ahead and have fun. So by finding small wins, such as being able to tell fictional hobbits to suck it, or that you're better than a song that says that they could hike 1,000 miles, chump change, or that you can just hike better than, or hike taller than an old woman reading a map. These small, consistent wins ended up getting me through my entire thru hike, to the point that I was enjoying it and enjoying sharing the story. Lastly, that brings us to the concept of safety. Now, why would I be talking about safety in a video about play? Well, it's been very much proven that creativity ceases whenever you're in an environment that makes you feel unsafe. Cortisol and adrenaline are great survival tools, but they're not so great for actually having fun with a process. And so you're not actually going to be enjoying yourself unless you can establish a sense of safety. Now, whether that safety is gone through like what I did when I had a little Zolio GPS system that could let my family know where I was every night. I could just hit a button and send a little check-in. Or actually making sure that you have the money to finish your thru hike. By focusing on safety and clearing hurdles that might prevent you, then you can really have fun and know that you're going to be safe no matter what challenges might end up your way. And if you're safe while doing that, you can be more creative on how to actually have fun with that. This could be framed in several different ways, but really, safety takes forms of what in your personal life could be the problem. So ask yourself the miracle question: in 6 months, everything went horribly wrong, and my thru hike ended early. What went wrong? By asking yourself that, you can really narrow down what it is that might bring you off of the trail. Now, for those of you that aren't sure, the Trek has a very helpful pie chart of self-reported reasons why people got off the Appalachian Trail. As you can see, major injury or illness was one of the major reasons that people stopped hiking. And so that's why I decided to wear pants the entire time. For those of you that know me, I hate pants. I like wearing shorts year-round. I'm a very cold weather person, and I love the snow. So the idea of wearing pants all summer was terrible. But I knew that ticks were going to be one of my biggest fears out there. And so by wearing pants and having most of my legs covered and not as a target for ticks, I was able to hike with more safety and more security, and able to go through more bushwhacking and blue blazes that I wanted to, because I wasn't focused so much on the process of keeping ticks off of me and worrying about every bush, because I knew that that was something that was going to possibly be a danger to me. So once you ask yourself what went wrong on your thru hike and you try to plan ahead, you can make sure that you've taken all of the steps to make yourself feel secure. Whether it's you're worried about starving in the woods, whether you're worried about getting lost, whether you're worried about not having enough money to hike the entire thing, or you're worried about where you're going to live as soon as you're done. These are all very legitimate concerns and things that you should figure out if you want to fully embrace and enjoy your thru hike. So, a little recap is, if you want to have fun and incorporate play, the first P of a successful thru hike, into your Appalachian Trail journey or any long distance hike, remember the key concepts of curiosity, treating the trail like a mystery instead of a puzzle, enjoying the process and celebrating small wins, and making sure that you're safe and secure while you're hiking can lead to you guaranteeing that you're going to be having a fun time. And if you're having a fun time, you're more likely to end the trail on a high note. I believe in you. So with this, come join me on my next 2 episodes of this 3-part mini-series, as I'm going to go into power and people, our next 2 energizers. I love you all, and happy trails.